Call to order Town of Prescott Valley Work Study Meeting, August 15th, 2019. Welcome, everyone. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Nye. Here. Councilmember Packard.
Present.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Mayor Palguda.
Present.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Here.
And Councilmember Grossman.
Still here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we get to the festivities, we're going to first start off with item 3, discussion purchase of Office 365 licensing. Mr. Danner.
I'm running the timer.
He has a 1-hour presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I've been threatened with bodily harm if I talk for much more than 2 or 3 minutes, so we're going to make this quick. What you have in front of you is a discussion of something that staff has been researching, looking at. We've been using Microsoft Office products for as long as I've been here, which is a long time. That's the spreadsheet, the word processing, email, publication software, things like that, PowerPoint. We've been using this for many years. We run into the same problem for many years, which is that for each person that uses the software, we have to pay about a $350 charge to use Office software. And that's just to get a license. And so what happens is we get this for a person, and then we're constantly behind the ball as far as versions go. So maybe we update somebody to a 2016 version or 2013 in our case, and we have tons of people still on 2010 version. So it's very, very hard to keep track, to keep on top of the newer versions because of the cost of it. So we started looking into a product called Office 365. You may be familiar with it. You may use it at home. It is used by a lot of people at home now. But we've been looking at it as far as a corporate structure. And you have a quote there in front of you, and that is a quote from a state contracted agency for this. And we'd like to look into moving to the 365 version of it. 365 is basically an online version of Microsoft Office. There are many benefits to it, which you see in my council action there, and I won't go through everything, but basically it allows for much larger mailboxes for our staff members. It allows for unlimited file space through what's called Microsoft OneDrive. This also allows for a lot of team collaboration, where a department or something can have a small area in Office. They can share files. They can. It's got instant messaging, which is something that a lot of our staff have been looking at. It's got a lot of video and audio conferencing capabilities that we don't have now. So there's a lot of different benefits to Office 365. It's basically an annual cost for users, and so we have, say, 275 users of Office 365. If somebody quits, we just plug somebody else in their place. So it's a lot easier to administer, to do administration on the system. As I said, there's a lot of different benefits here at the office. It also allows each person that's set up as a user to be able to install Office on up to 5 devices, 5 PCs, and up to 15 total devices. So they can install it on a phone, they can install it on a home PC, which is a benefit for staff members, but it's also a benefit for the town as we look at pandemic planning, possible disaster recovery planning, things like that will allow people to work from home if they can't get into the office. So a lot of benefits there. You see the price in front of you. Basically, we're able to handle the cost of it this year from other funds that we already had budgeted for Office licenses and other licensing that we can get rid of because of this. And then we'll budget as normal. It'll be a lot easier to budget as we go forward in the coming years. So I would be glad to answer any questions you might have at this time.
Council, go ahead.
Is Office 365 going to be compatible with all of our computers?
Yes.
Awesome.
Because we're changing it works with Windows 7, but we're changing to Windows 10, and it definitely works with Windows 10 as well. So.
Mr. Danner, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
Moving on, item 4. Clerk, take it away.
Excuse me, Honorable Mayor and Council, as you know, tonight we're going to listen to the presentations from each one of the candidates who wish to fill the vacancy. And as you saw, they each drew a number and will come up in numerical order. I will let you know as we go through the list who is coming to speak next. Basically, they're here to tell you tonight about what they bring you to the table, and also why they're probably the best candidate that you've ever seen. So, when you're ready to start, we'll go.
All right. I first want to start off before we get involved and just thank every person that is here, that has been interested in this process, and that is going to come out in front of us. I know it might be a little nerve-wracking, you might be a little nervous, but please just relax, take a deep breath, just come on up here, tell us about yourself, and don't worry, you're not going to screw up, okay? That being said, clerk, let's call our first number.
Candidates, did I remember to tell you that you each have 5 minutes? Okay, so when you hear the bell, that's 5. Thank you. Our first speaker is Brenda Dickinson.
Welcome, ma'am.
When it begins. Can you tell us how it begins, or when do you start timing us?
30 seconds ago. Just kidding, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay.
Fine. Just make sure you speak right into the microphone.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Palguda and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to apply and interview for this position. My name is Brenda Dickinson, and I would like to be the next Prescott Valley Town Councilwoman. A little about my background. I moved here in 1994 from Tucson as a result of a consolidation with the Federal Aviation Administration. Most of my career, I was in government service. I worked for the Navy as a civilian for 2.5 years and then transferred into air traffic control. After attending the Mike Mulrooney Air Traffic Control Academy in Oklahoma City for an accumulation of about a year, I ended up in the flight service option. In one facility, I was the only woman in an office of 12 men. I worked during the time that Reagan fired all of the air traffic controllers in 1981. I also was working on 9/11 when pilots questioned, how does something that happened 3,000 miles away affect us? Stress was part of my life. I was part of one of the greatest teams in our country. We worked with 300 flight service stations across the nation. Our everyday work intertwined with the approach controls, the air traffic centers, and the airway facility support groups. It was a group effort and maybe the largest ever. Being a team player and team builder is important to me. Why am I running for this position? In the past several years, I have walked the streets of Prescott Valley as a volunteer to register voters and to campaign with various candidates. I have been a precinct captain and area director for the Republican Party. Over the course of doing this, I have met many neighbors with numerous concerns and interests about Prescott Valley. They would ask me, why this and why that? How do I get this done? And who do I call? Recently, my street went through resurfacing, and the driveways and ditches of several of my neighbors were affected, where they had 6-inch drops. The landscaping was affected under the mailboxes, and there were mud puddles, and they needed their gutters dug deeper. I took it upon myself to make the phone calls and get the answers and the results. Afterward, I was told by a few of them, you should run for town council. Since then, I have gone to the Prescott Valley Citizens Academy and the Yavapai County Citizens Academy to get more answers. Helping others and solving problems is something I enjoy doing. It is easy to extol the virtues of Prescott Valley. We live in one of the most amazing places in the world. I have been told by family and friends, do you know how lucky you are to live here? Well, I do know. I love the people in this town. God has richly blessed me to send me here nearly 25 years ago. I thought I was sent to a little patch of heaven when I saw the deer and the antelope play on the fields near me. The beauty and grandeur made an imprint on my heart. I miss the antelope, but I understand the sacrifice in order to grow. I have been fortunate to work with and volunteer with some of the most special people anywhere on earth. How we all came together from various parts of the country to this sleepy bedroom town always impressed me. Now we are growing into a magnificent metropolis in central Arizona, and I run into people from all over the world. I love the way our community addresses the needs of its residents in so many ways. No one is left behind. We forget no one on holidays or special occasions. We recognize everyone for their accomplishments, no matter how big or small. I love the way the people of this town come together for the good of our community and those around us to celebrate, to console, and to remember. We embrace everyone in the area, and we work together for the common good. As a young child, I was instilled with pride in myself, in my home, in my family, in my community, and in my country. I was a Girl Scout, and my twin brother was a Cub Scout. My mother was a den mother, and my dad was on the board for the Scouts. I was raised on the Girl Scout promise. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country and to help people at all times. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, and to make the world a better place. It has been an honor and a privilege to live and work here in Prescott Valley in the Quad Cities area, and then to retire here. I hope to continue to be one of those who can do even more with my talents and abilities to benefit Prescott Valley. I want to see our town prosper, and I would like to be a part of the decision-making process. I believe I have the skills and talents that would complement the current council. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Our next speaker, Mayor, is Minister Lorraine Ratcliffe.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor, Common Council women, and Common Council men. I like that part. I've been here for 10 years now. And my first walk, I went into a supermarket and I met a man. This man's business card did not have his photograph on like Mayor, yours do, the picture. So I didn't believe that he was really real. And the people came up, they said, "Good morning, Mayor Scoop." And I said, "Oh, holy Jesus, he is the mayor." And they said, "Good morning, Minister Lorraine." I said, "Oh, hi," you know. And his approach was a little bit different than what I am quite accustomed to. You know, I deal with senators, congressmen, congresswomen, and all type of head of state. I've traveled extensively. I've been ministering the gospel for 42 years. The death of my son did not stop me. I was relentless that I was going to keep on being actively involved. His last words to me was, "Mama, keep preaching." That was the first copy of my book, because I knew that when you look around the world and see what's going on today, many mothers are not preaching and many mothers are not praying. But it was important for me to keep on doing the task at hand. I was adopted, so I was raised out of culture. So, many people say, "You seem to be very comfortable in the culture." I walk Prescott Valley. It's like boots on the ground. I get a chance to go into and meet all type of business people. When we had Kmart, Guy was one of my special friends. I met Miss Leah Dukes at the mayor's office, and she was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure that you're a minister?" I says, "Leah, I am." But anyway, Mayor was so kind that he brought her along to go to one of our lunch dates, So I did have a good time. And I also visit her church, the Mormon church. One of the most amazing things that I found out after the service is over, they had many women standing up giving presentation. There are some places in this town that don't want women to preach, but I said, forget it. Because if your mama told you to wash your clothes, brush your teeth, change your pants, she was preaching to you, whether you knew it or not, And I am a Republican. I was born and raised in Detroit, and I'm a conservative Republican, okay? I believe in marriages. I had marvelous opportunity of performing marriages. I don't believe in the shack up. I believe you need to put a ring on it, And for people to get married, So I'm glad to be here in Prescott Valley, Arizona. This is my home. I walk out among the people. I did an event for my mayor that said, meet my mayor, and the people said, well, he's our mayor too. I said, yeah, look at all y'all. Look at what I mean. It's meet my mayor, okay? And I took to the streets less than a half an hour, $3,000. That was from the businessmen of this community, which I didn't have an agenda written out. I just told them what I wanted to do, give them T-shirts, have food, open it up to the community. And my oldest person was 103, and Mary Scoop did give her a certificate. She's passed, so that's it. That's all I do all day, walk around, meet and greet people. I just met the mayor right here at Fry's. And of course, he has not arrived because they do put me up a Christmas tree at Fry's. Hello. I had to say hi to them. And Nick, the pharmacist, and with my name on it. Nobody have arrived like that. Thank you, Diane, Inspector number 12. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker, Mayor, is Bill Williams.
Thanks, Mayor and Council. How can you follow that, right? My name's Bill Williams, like the mountain man, 50 miles north of here. And one of the reasons I love this area is because of how wonderful the lifestyle is, and I want to help, protect and preserve that. I thought I'd pull some bullet points out of my application packet that I gave you. I've been a homeowner here since 2008, but I have been coming up to our wonderful location here since the early 60s when I was, or the late 60s when I was a Boy Scout. I'm from Phoenix, and that's where I grew up. I had a great job here as the regional spokesperson for ADOT. I managed public information projects on important construction projects such as the raised median barrier on Highway 69 near Diamond and Ramada, also the widening of Highway 69 near Glassford Hill, and the finishing of Highway 89A north of Prescott Valley, and the Highway 89-69 interchange near the tribal lands, and the new Highway 69 Interstate 79 interchange. What I learned there was about the broad policy decisions that have to be made with respect to paving and construction and transportation. And during the public meetings that I hosted as the PR person for ADOT, that allowed me to meet locals and interact with other agencies like CYMPO, the county, and municipalities. I have attached some articles and materials to my packet that I hope you're going to take time to look at. I learned about the media and public relations when earning my undergraduate degree at ASU in Tempe, and later my master's degree in communications and journalism. That communications experience can help the town. I fully believe that will aid our town, that kind of experience. My work as a public information officer includes 2 different states, New Mexico and Arizona, and it shows how much of a trusted public figure I am and was at times. I may know a lot about the racetrack, by the way, and including its successes and its failures and what happened to it, and I attached an article that shows how thorough I can be when I'm digging, and I have that natural curiosity. Larry Tarkowski helped me with gathering some facts on that article. I know how patriotic our town is because I did thorough research on various flag flying efforts, and that article is attached. And by the way, Mary Mallory asked me to write that article. I bring a lot of experience on how much water we have and how much we can get. And my 2 articles on how much water we've got and what we're going to get are still posted on Prescott E-News right now. John Munderloh, one of your directors, helped me with that one. I also worked for the federal government 4 times and held a variety of clearances, including serving as a medic in the Air Force. I'm a proud Vietnam-era veteran. I also hold an active Arizona Department of Public Safety fingerprint clearance card. Those clearances mean that I am a patriot and I can be trusted with sensitive work. So I bring that natural curiosity of a retired reporter. I ask questions on how projects work, what they're going to cost our residents, and I try to gather as many facts on a subject like water and paving and some of the things I mentioned, and I seek as many opinions as I can possibly get before I make the decision. I hope you'll hire me as a councilman because I think I have a lot to offer you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Terry Dickinson is our next speaker, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor and Council people. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be up here tonight and for your attention. My name is Terry Dickinson. I have, between my time in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War and working for the city of Los Angeles, I've got 35 years in public service. The last 5 years were as a sanitation wastewater manager, where I supervised and oversaw the 4 separate divisions that with a annual budget of $20 million. I understand the workings between different departments, the city council, different agencies, counties, federal government, and the inner workings between them. I understand what the people's roles are in those positions. I had some notes here. I'm sorry. The last 5 years that I worked for the city, I was, as manager, I was supervised many capital improvement projects, and I understand the core business of a city. I understand what's mandated, what's essential services, what's necessary services, and what's quality of life issues for the town. So in saying that, I'm just going to be brief. Like I say, I've got 35 years of experience in public service. Kind of nervous right now.
It's okay.
I retired I officially retired 5 years ago, but the city kept me on as a consultant. So I moved up here 5 years ago. I've been coming here we've got friends in Chino Valley, so we've been coming here for 30 years. I knew that when I retired from the city that this is probably where I was going to retire. And so in 2014, I retired and worked for 3 more years for the city, and it was kind of difficult going back and forth. Anyway, I won't take too much of your time, but I do have the management experience, and I understand capital improvement projects. I understand core business for a city, and what's mandated, permits, that type of thing, things that just have to be done. If not, you're in violation. Essential services, plowing streets. Necessary business is, payroll, that type of thing. And then, quality of life issues for the city, and everything must be done with a cost benefits analysis. So anyway, I won't take any more of your time. I will, in a minute 43, I will give you one trivial note here. I was a child actor, and if you want to Google it, Terry Dickinson was Sheldon the Bully on the Andy Griffith Show. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you.
Our 5th speaker is Linda Mast.
Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening. Hello, Mayor Palguda, Vice Mayor Nye, and Town Council members. It goes without saying that Mary Mallory's appointment to the Board of Supervisors leaves hard shoes to fill. The number of applications to replace her is a great testament to the high level of civic engagement in Prescott Valley, a wonderful thing. In my 5 minutes, I want to share with you the reasons I believe I am the best candidate to serve on Town Council. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and come from a very patriotic family with a strong work ethic. My dad was career military, and all 4 of my stepbrothers served in the military, as did I. As an adult, I have lived in many locations and have come to appreciate the wonderful treasure we have here in our community and the town of Prescott Valley. My dad loved Arizona, and we are so pleased to live in this great state. Ever since my husband and I moved here in May 2018, I have immersed myself in attending council meetings and participating in informational sessions about fire evacuation plans and other informational sessions offered by staff and the town council. I am also an alum of the Citizens Academy. I have over 8 years of experience as both a commissioner and as the chair of the Plan Commission of Woodridge, Illinois, where my husband and I lived prior to moving to PV. I also served in that community's board committee to select the best developer for that village's first senior housing facility. I understand and practice good governance. In my professional career, my service as a consultant to law firms and my position as the Chief Compliance Officer at the University of Chicago Health System has prepared me to understand and apply regulatory guidance and policy effectively. This work also prepared me well to communicate and build trust when difficult situations need to be addressed. As a captain in the Army Nurse Corps, along with over 20 years of nursing, health, and executive leadership experience, I will bring unique perspectives on what it takes to create a healthy and positive quality of life for our community and citizens. I am excited about the future of Prescott Valley and consider it a great privilege to have the opportunity to serve as council member. While living in Woodridge, our mayor and former mayor asked me to run for the board. It was a great honor to have their endorsement. That experience of running for office has prepared me well to run for election at the end of the open council positions term. I believe this will be an important consideration for continuity of the council. I believe that a very important part of being a council member is a passion and commitment to serving the community. Servant leadership is my forte. My clinical background and professional leadership training and experience includes formal training in active listening. I believe this is a critical attribute for all public servants. As a professor and passionate lifelong learner, you can rest assured that I will always do my homework and come to every town council meeting well prepared to consider every item on our agenda and ask questions when needed. As a business owner and member of the Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce, I am committed to economic development for our community that will create jobs. While I am confident that my prior work experience, education, and past public service has prepared me well to be an effective council member, really one of the most important aspects of serving is being the kind of person that is easy to work with and of pleasant temperament. While I can make tough decisions, my personality is one that others describe as positive and upbeat. I believe that I will be the kind of council member that you will find easy to work with on all levels. It is my sincere honor and pleasure to have this opportunity to share my passion and commitment to good governance and leading the way to a continued positive future for the great town of Prescott Valley as your next town council member. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker, Mayor, is Bill Suski.
Welcome.
All right. Hello, Council. Hello, Mayor. I would like to start by thanking you for your time. My name is Bill Suksi, and I'm a production lead at Superior Industries here in Prescott Valley. When I was born 41 years ago, my parents had a house on Castle Drive at the base of Glassford Hill, and I've been a part of this community ever since. Over that time, I've seen a lot of changes to our town, and I would love to be a part of the group that continually works to make it the best place to call home in the state. It says pause and breathe. I feel like I would be the best candidate to fill this open seat for several reasons, but first and foremost is my absolute passion for the Prescott Valley and its people. I've been volunteering my time for 20 years, starting when I was 18, mostly working with the youth in the area with Prescott Valley Little League and other youth sports organizations in the town. These associations have given me the opportunity to mentor a large number of our youth and also meet and maintain relationships with a very diverse sampling of our population. The people of our town are its greatest asset. I feel that through these interactions and relationships, I have gained a unique perspective on wants and needs of our town. This perspective, along with my ability to work hard towards goals, will make me a valuable part of this team. As a boy, I learned the value of working hard by spending time with my dad. Most weekends, you could find me helping him at his fencing job or in the mountains cutting and gathering firewood, or doing projects and maintenance around the house that he built. Although I didn't appreciate it at the time, and I would have much rather been out running around the neighborhood with my friends, this foundation I gained through these experiences has served me well throughout my life. When unforeseen circumstances caused the small business I was working for to have to close its doors, this foundation enabled me to have the confidence to start my own business. During this time, I started to develop some skills that will help me be a productive member of the council. I've learned to negotiate and compromise with a wide variety of personality types in order to come up with a solution beneficial to all parties involved. I was also forced to learn how to develop and stick to a very precise budget. I was later able to sharpen this skill on a larger scale in corporate setting through my current employer. My position enables me to make budgetary decisions at yearly, quarterly, and monthly meetings. These decisions are constantly evaluated, and any deviations from set parameters, while sometimes unavoidable, could have implications on the next several budget meetings. My time on the safety committee at work, along with my experience on the board of 2 nonprofit organizations, have given me insight on being a voice for groups of people. People want to know that their opinions matter and are heard. It is very important that a representative is willing to listen to and convey these opinions as long as they don't go against your morals and beliefs. Another skill I've been able to acquire is the ability to build and develop successful teams. Good teams have a clear goal and a plan to reach that goal. I truly believe that if you are in charge of putting together a group of people and you are the smartest and most qualified person in the room, you have not done a good job of putting that team together. Being able to work in a team setting is one of my greatest strengths. I'm good at being able to work with varying personalities who have different agendas and ideas in order to achieve the tasks that the group has been put together to do. It is not always easy to decide policies when someone whose opinions do not line up with your own, but it is important to be able to have a meaningful discussion in order to come to a solution that all parties can agree is the best way to move forward. I believe that this council has done an excellent job of guiding Prescott Valley to the amazing town we live in today, and I know I would be the best candidate to help this team maintain that excellence while always striving to enhance the lives and opportunities for the people of our home. If I am selected to move on to the next step in this process, you will be happy with your decision. I promise you and the citizens of our town that if given the opportunity to serve on this council, I will work hard as I've ever worked and use my passion for the town of Prescott Valley to make sure its interests are represented with honor and integrity in order to make my hometown the best place to live and work in the state of Arizona. Thank you for your time. I am looking forward to being able to answer your questions during the next phase of this process.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker, Mayor, is Jamie Goringer.
Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Thank you for the opportunity to stand before you this evening. Wow, I'm in awe. Wow. Okay, focus. My name is Jamie Geringer, and we have made Prescott Valley our home in January of 1998. Our business began serving Prescott Valley in March of 1997. Now we're a family of 4 generations in this area, in this town and area. This is my hometown. I'm from South Dakota, but this is home. This is home. I married my high school sweetheart at the age of 16. And now we've been married for almost 39 years. And we have 2 daughters. Joanne, sorry.
Take your time.
There's a presence up here that is something else. My goodness. Anyways, Joanne is 39 years. Wait a minute. I can't read. Sorry. She's been in this area with her husband and our 3 amazing grandchildren. And our daughter, Julie, is in heaven. As some of you know. I've been a small business owner since I was 18. Network marketing for 20 years, home daycare for 20 years, and we opened our Orkin franchise in northern Arizona in March of 1997. In December of 2008, the bottom of the crash, our daughter and I opened Smart Girls Resale Fashion. I recently sold the business in January of 19 and began to settle into retirement. And who knew this would come up, right? I've been an active member in the Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce since December of 2008, and I've been a chamber ambassador for the past 4 years. I am passionate about small business and about women, for women who own businesses and the causes that help them, help women by lifting them up and propelling them forward. I launched the Hope Still Floats fundraiser in 2015 to raise monies for the Yavapai Family Advocacy Center to fill in the gaps where the grants just don't quite make it. I launched the Roundtable of Women in Business. We existed Journey Life as business owners together and to propel each other's personal value and worth and their businesses forward. This team of amazing women started the Deserving Woman Day. This will be the 4th year of celebrating a woman who is a silent servant in the Quad City area. I believe it's important to link arms with others and journey life together, whether it's for business or personal. People they need to be touched and loved and supported. No one should ever have to stand alone. Remember, in the Serengeti, no animal ever goes to the watering hole alone, for they will become dinner for their prey. I value collaboration. I'm a connector of people, linking arms to propel forward, finding a need and filling it. I'm teachable and I'm a team player. I come with fresh eyes and ears as a business owner and as a citizen of this great town. I come offering my hands and my feet, my ideas, my dreams and visions to make our hometown the safest and the best ever. I feel called to serve as a conduit for small business and the citizens of this great town. Actually, I'm more than called. I want to serve our town. I want to be a part of the vision going forward, dreaming and planning for the next 25 years and more. I come offering my personality. Wow, yeah, that's a big one. For those who know me, know that I am highly relational. If you ask my family, I do not know a stranger. I can't go in a store and nobody's a stranger. I'm a visionary, and my God-given gift is to be an exhorter, building people up, making people feel valued, that they're worth fighting for. This town is worth fighting for. This is who I am, and I would love the opportunity to serve our hometown. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker is Mary Williams.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Mayor Palguda, Vice Mayor Nye, members of the council and staff. As you heard, my name is Mary Williams, and I'm an owner with my husband David of 2 small businesses, a real estate company and an accounting firm. We moved from Scottsdale in 2005 to accomplish our dream of living up here in paradise. This is our 2nd time living in Prescott Valley, so I've been here about 5.5 years altogether. We live in our forever home in Granville, and our oldest son and his family also live in Prescott Valley. As a self-employed business owner, I have always believed that working hard and doing a good job is paramount to success in business and life. It also means I control my own schedule and have sufficient time to devote to council duties. As I said, I'm here forever, and my town matters to me. During my time in Scottsdale, I was elected and served 2 terms as a director to the Scottsdale Association of Realtors, a 3,000-member trade organization. I served and chaired in a variety of capacities. I was humbled to be the recipient of their highest honor, the Distinguished Service Award, for my efforts. I am a graduate of Arizona's Excellence in Public Service Leadership Series, which is affiliated with the National Public Service Leadership Program. The training is almost a year long and geared specifically to preparing women for leadership roles in their communities. In addition to the business experiences and training I just mentioned, I'm also the immediate past president of a 2,000-member state women's organization. To chair the all-volunteer board of directors, numbering in excess of 50 members with diverse opinions, took patience, knowledge, preparation, and leadership. I hope from reading my letters of reference you have garnered a good feeling for my work ethic, my dedication, and most of all, my ability to impartially do a good job, whatever the task. What's important is to work together with energy and enthusiasm to take care of our town and citizens. So what would I bring to the council? Well, definitely energy and enthusiasm, as well as an always positive attitude. Being in real estate for over 41 years, a good working knowledge of planning, zoning, and code enforcement, a strong sense of fiscal responsibility. We need to continue to be wise stewards of our funds, It is excellent that we put more than the minimum required back into our rainy day funds the past 2 cycles to rebuild our reserves. A strong support for our police and other first responders. The CAFMA switchover for the police radios was a needed improvement. I love the fact that our town is the safest in northern Arizona and that we're partnering with Homeland Security to fight drugs and other crimes. What's happening with the ambulance response times raised by CAFMA is very disturbing. This council and other stakeholders should be commended for their proactive stance on this issue to protect all of us, and I'd like to thank our first responders for all they do. A strong belief in economic development to create jobs and increase revenues. Our town's business speaks to the wise leadership we have had over the years that encourages businesses to call Prescott Valley their new home. I have lived in Arizona since 1969. And the reality is that no one is going to stop growth. It's here and will continue. What we must do is plan accordingly and manage it wisely. My ideas for where we could improve. Councilman Packard has expressed concerns about our roads deteriorating, and he's right. It was good to hear from Public Works that we are moving from an 11-year maintenance cycle on our roads to a 5-year plan. It's also great to see the various significant projects that are on this schedule for this cycle. Our town is hard at work. I'd like to suggest considering a 4-way stop sign or other control at Long Mesa and Robert Road by the back burner. It's difficult and even dangerous to make left turns from any directions. I have some other ideas, but my clock up there is ticking. I know we'll be discussing this next time, but it is also vitally important that we continue to sustain our water needs with good planning for today, but more importantly, for the future of a burgeoning and vibrant town destined, I predict, to be the largest in northern Arizona. Bringing dormant wells back online, as well as the addition of new ones, again speaks volumes to a town taking care of its citizens. I have attended in person or online, all council sessions, work studies, and council chats since the beginning of this term. I am impressed with the professionalism and camaraderie I see among council and staff, and would also like to commend staff on our town's website. Mayor Palguda, Vice Mayor Nye, council members, if so selected, it would be my privilege and honor to serve our town with you. I promise to do my very best to be of service to our community. Again, I'm Mary Williams, and I thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Charles Abels is next.
Welcome, sir.
Do I need this? Can y'all hear me? Or do I need this?
It'd be better for the people at home need to be able to hear you.
Okay, so we're on TV then?
It's better, yes, sir.
Yes. Honorable Mayor, Town Council, staff, ladies and gentlemen in the audience and the applicants, I am Charles Abels. I want to do something odd here today, Mayor. I have a lot on my mind, of course. I have a lot of concerns about the town of Prescott Valley. But after seeing the applicants here and listening to those already ahead of me, and I'm sure those that are after me are by far still some good presentation, I'm going to ask that Diane Russell, the town clerk, pull my name off the list and then not go up for consideration, because I'm very much impressed with this crowd here, very much, and hopeful as well. So I'm going to pull my name off, and I'm going to sit in the audience and do what I do best, nothing. Oh, well, I'm going to stay long enough. I do have a friend out there. He'll be up later. His name is Chris, and I want to be here to support him. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lori Hunt, if you'd come forward, please.
Welcome, ma'am.
Evening. My name is Lori Hunt. Thank you for this opportunity to come before council and describe my background and my qualifications. I appreciate the town and the council's transparency in all actions, and including this one. Okay, transparency from me. I'm a little nervous. I appreciate what you said at the beginning, though, to try to help us relax. That was great. Thank you. So here goes. I'm a graduate of Indiana State University with a double major in urban regional planning studies and economics. I have a food service background because, after all, how does one get through a college without doing food service, right? I was a planner for Riverside County for 5 years. I earned the rank of Assistant Director of the Riverside County Economic Development Agency, and I was there for 9 years. I did community development, redevelopment, housing, county airports, economic development, job training, and I managed the county fair, the National Date Festival, the last 3 years. I was then recruited to be the assistant city manager and eventually city manager of the city of Marietta, and I was there for almost 9 years. Marietta is a full-service city similar to Prescott Valley, and it currently has over 100,000 residents. I then became the city manager of the city of Canyon Lake, and I did that for 5 years. And then I headed north to Sacramento, and I was a community development director of the county of Sacramento with oversight of building, planning, engineering, economic development, and code enforcement. I was there for 4 years, and I retired from public service. But I wasn't quite done. So then I became the assistant general manager, community manager of Laguna Woods Village. I was there for 2 years. Laguna Woods Village is near Irvine, California. It's a 55-plus community with over 12,000 homes and 18,000 residents. I retired again and got my Mrs. degree then. Dean and I and my dad reside in Quailwood, and we've been there for 1.5 years. Dean is really known as Mr. Dean at Liberty Traditional School. All the kids love him to pieces. So how do I keep myself busy? Other than being Dad's caregiver, I'm a Parks and Recreation Commissioner. Thank you for the appointment. Dean and I look forward to being part of the August Citizens Academy. I'm a member of the Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce and have been for 2 years. I'm looking forward to volunteering for the Healing Fields. I attend Parks and Recreation Move It classes on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. I do water aerobics in our pool at Quailwood on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. And we just purchased a trailer, so now we're into glamping. So the application asks for personal qualities that would make us a good council member. I'm a consensus builder. I've facilitated strategic planning sessions for cities and nonprofits. I'm a volunteer board member on the Humboldt Education Foundation, and I have been for over 1 year. My husband and I have been partners at Heights Church since coming here, and we're looking forward to the opening of the Prescott Valley campus. As I mentioned before, I have 30 years of government experience in both cities and counties and 2 years in private homeowners association management. I know the responsibilities of council and the duties of staff, and I'm very familiar with the council manager form of government. I understand that council is nonpartisan. After all, how else would you get something done? I love, love, love the city of Prescott. It's our home and where we want our kids and our grandkids and our friends to come and visit. Other words to describe my personal traits are humble, hopeful, versatile, follow through, personable, respectful, and hospitality. Just this week, a new friend told me that in order to be a good council member, you must have willingness of heart. Good advice, right? I just want council to know I do have a heart full of willingness. I am eager to give back to the community and to be a part of this growing Prescott Valley. I want to leave you with one quote. It's actually one of my very favorite quotes, and I'm going to read it very fast. And that is, "And let us not grow weary by doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." Galatians 6:9. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Would Anastasia Van Gelder come forward, please? Anastasia is our 11th speaker, council.
Welcome, ma'am.
everyone, Mayor and Council Member. My name is Anastasia Van Gelder. I am highly uncredentialed compared to a lot of people sitting here, but I do have one thing, and that's a point of view. I am 40 years old, and I am a mother. My son is starting freshman year at Bradshaw, and my daughter is in her 5th grade year at Coyote Springs. We moved here 5 years ago from Texas for obvious reasons. We came to visit. My in-laws are both retired art teachers, and they moved here from Nebraska and settled. We came for a visit, and 6 months later, we lived here. Coming from a little bit bigger of a city in Texas, Corpus Christi, and growing up in a very large city, San Diego, Prescott Valley is the smallest city I have ever lived in. In San Diego, growing up in the 80s, we did come from a very socioeconomically disadvantaged household. So I did use a lot of city services that were available. That was extremely important to me as a youth growing up in poverty. Fortunately, my children are a little bit better off than I was. As far as my experience, I have no political or I did run for school council in freshman and sophomore, and I was vice president, and I was very good at it and passionate. I spent most of my adult life in the medical field. I was a medical assistant in Texas. I specialized in urology. I decided to get out of that. It was a little heartbreaking, and I don't think I had the emotional aptitude to put up with that. So I did go back to school. I am pursuing my degree in business operations with supply chain management. I would eventually like to work for FEMA so that we can have a little bit better preparedness for our country's natural disasters. I'm very familiar with the VA and the Department of Disability and aging. My stepdaughter is 29. She does have autism, and she is blind. So I'm heavily involved with the Department of Economic Security, Medicare. My partner, I apologize, Minister, I am not married. I do share the responsibilities of a married person financially and child raising. I apologize for that. But we do raise wonderful children together. My partner, Brent, is a disabled Army medic, combat medic. He served in Iraq. He suffers from PTSD, so I am constantly at the VA. Very, very thankful for that service. A lot of cities, even bigger cities, do not have the accessibility that we have here. Like any other citizen, I do have concerns. I've worked with people that graduated high school from where they grew up and did not return. They went to college and they did not come back to have any kind of input as far as development, coming back and returning, raising families, because there was nothing for them in these places, i.e. Corpus Christi, Texas, and other smaller but yet bigger towns. I really don't want that for Prescott Valley. I look down from Mingus Mountain and I just see a small San Bernardino. It's just going to go from mountain to mountain. It really is. And collaboration, I think, between all of us, Chino, Dewey, all of these, eventually it's so necessary that transportation, I work full-time, and 95% of my job is out of town. I work in Chino, I work in Williams, I work in Flagstaff. Thank God I'm here today. I got the day off. I was supposed to be in Flagstaff. Williams, Cottonwood, and Prescott Valley. I work for a merchandising company. Like I said, I stepped away from the medical field so that I could focus on my degree. So I work for a merchandising company, and we travel everywhere. Like I think somebody out there said, the roads. I do drive. I do have some concerns. And honestly, I have not informed myself enough about the dealings. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
If Ramona Ogburn would come forward, please. Ramona is our 12th speaker.
Welcome, ma'am.
Honorable Mayor, distinguished council, and oh my goodness, the wealth of information and talent behind me. My name is again Ramona Burton Ogburn. I have not lived in Prescott Valley that long. I've lived here over a year. I come from a generation of military personnel. We are our 8th generation, starting with the Buffalo Soldiers in the Middle West. I have lived on 3 continents, 35 different states as an Air Force dependent, and I believe here in Prescott Valley, I have truly found my forever home. Growing up, I had an opportunity to meet with people of different cultures. This has helped me open my mind to an entire different way of life. I worked 30 years in the Office of Special Education as a consultant, a subject matter expert, and a trainer of trainers. In 2011, I received a statewide recognition award voted by 1,100 of my state colleagues as a Consultant of the Year. I have written, I have prevented legislation. I was fortunate enough to be chosen to go to Washington, D.C. to work on the changes for the Individual with Disability Education Act. It was an extremely difficult, exciting, and interesting time. The feds are firm believers that they are the boss of everybody. After more than 30 years, I made a major career change. I went back to school to become a mediator and a contract negotiator for the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. I negotiated contracts for correctional officers, parole officers, and psychiatrists working within the Department of Correction. This position helped me to learn contract resolution, conflict resolution, and achieving results for the best, truly the best for the organization and not special interest groups. Since I have been in Prescott Valley, I have volunteered to help at the Healing Field project last year, and have ready to do so again this year. Watching and interacting with the healing fields is one of the most impressive projects I have ever seen, and it pays such a tribute to people that we lost, and I commend Prescott Valley for taking on that project. I have high regards for our veterans, and whenever possible, I thank them, as well as our first responders. Unlike other people, when we are in a burning building, we are running out. First responders do not think of themselves first. They think of others, and if they're not special angels, I don't know who is. Before coming to Sacramento, before coming to Prescott Valley, I lived in Sacramento and volunteered at the Sacramento Blood Bank, Sacramento Food Bank, and the UC Davis Medical Hospital. I have signed up to begin the Prescott Valley Citizens Academy this month, and I'm really looking forward to that experience. I have joined several local organizations and have been fortunate to meet many of our local citizens, all whom have had such a good opinion of this very city, and therefore, once again, reinforces the fact that I am here and I love it. Now that I'm retired, I have determined that this is the time for me to start truly giving back 100%. I am delighted that the welcome I've received in this community and believe that my experience working with large organizations, staff, and families, my education and enthusiasm would make me a great candidate for the Prescott Valley Town Council. I thank you very much for your time. I look forward in working with each and every one of you, and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our final speaker this evening is Christopher Behrens.
Welcome, sir.
Hello, Councilman, Mayor. Thank you for having me today. Thank you, Charles. I did not see that coming. I appreciate it very much. I am a product of Prescott Valley. My parents came here in 1980 and have been here ever since. I grew up all over this town. I was playing in the watering hole that became the urban forest on Lakeshore. That was literally my backyard. I had my parents had the little trailer on the corner of Luce. My parents were volunteers. My dad was a volunteer firefighter with the Yavapai Fire District for 9 years. My mom volunteered at the Girl Scouts, and she worked with the Boys and Girls Club for many years. I remember being young enough to play mini golf in front of the Prescott Valley Motel before Castle Golf was here. I had my bike repaired at Wheels West. I had my hair cut at Rachel's Place. I bought my first CD and my last cassette tape at the Music Stop. Prescott Valley is ingrained in me. I had my education here. I had my children here. I've worked here. And now I want to serve here. I've worked as a mechanic at Galpin in Prescott, Galpin and Dewey. I've spent some time at Printpack. My dad's been there since they opened. I even had my first job here selling coupons door to door before Valve Pack was even a thing. When Chris Kuknio decided to open up Patriot Disposal, I was one of his first customers. Everything about this town, I've been here for, the good and the bad. I was here when Patrick Swayze crashed his plane. And I've tried to give back to the community, even as a single parent. That wasn't always possible in a volunteer sense, but I was able to get into professional wrestling at the local level, and was able to bring back a professional wrestling show in front of Harkins Theater in 2007. You don't see wrestling here very often, and I'm glad to see it coming back again this year, and I hope I had some influence on that. I watched this town grow from its infancy, and I see that it's growing, and it's going to continue to grow. And going forward, we need to have some responsibility and balance. And I think a focus on business and industry as opposed to residential is necessary. I want to be a part of finding that balance. I want to help my kids find work here, which has not been easy. I want to help my grandchildren find a foundation here. And I don't just look to the end of our general plan of 2025. I'm looking as far out as 2080. I recently saw a T-shirt that said, because I'm a Barron's, I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. And Councilman, I haven't even started yet. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, if I may, just one moment.
Sure, ma'am.
I just wanted to tell the candidates that spoke this evening, thank you very much. And I wanted to say that the council will now deliberate who will be the 3 or 4 finalists, their choice of number. And then I will call each of you and let you know if you are one of the selected finalists to be interviewed then on September the 5th. So thank you again tonight, and Mayor, turn it back over to you.
Ma'am, before we get started on that, I'd just like to say a few words. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. I also like to thank you for making this a very, very hard decision. I'm sure the rest of council will agree on that. But I want to touch on what one person mentioned in regards to perhaps they were not the most qualified. I just want you all to know that we're at the basic level of government, which is truly the most important place we can be, where we actually make a difference in our community. And if we look way back to what our founding fathers were, they weren't all lawyers, they weren't all politicians, but they were in fact farmers and teachers and house people. And they made a difference to what our country was all about. So with that being said, I want to thank you. And although only one, or at the end of this process, one person will be picked, hopefully it's not the end for any of you. And hopefully you guys all take a little bit of this, and hopefully it sparks something inside of you, because there's more that you can give to our community. And just because at the end you may not be picked by the 6 people here, an election in 2020 comes up and you can be picked by the 50,000 people that live in our community. So I hope that this is not the end that we see of you, and I really encourage each of you to get involved. So with that being said, I think there's some deliberation to be made. Clerk, how would you like to do this?
You just adjourn the meeting as normal.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
you.